Hey, how you doing, guys, today? And today I wanted to do a quick review. This review is going to be, and I'll show you something, of the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. Okay, this is the 4-inch barrel. Actually, it's a 3-inch barrel. They call it a 4-inch barrel. This part here is 3 with an extra inch. The gun itself has a compensator, which comes off with a set screw in the front here. You crank that a little, and then you just actually loosen it up and just unscrew it, pull it out. Okay, why they have a set screw there is because they have multiple bullets that the gun can take. What happens is this one here that I just took out is for plated bullets like this. The little bit longer one is for the leaded bullets. Put that in. Okay, you see? And then that tightens down with that screw right there. And it's compensated on the sides. I'll pull that out and put this back in there. It's ready from cleaning it. Okay, back in like so, and then this just goes forward a little. See, other way. I always goof up on the way. Okay, that's that, and it's in. Okay, today's video is just on. Just going to tell you the power of the 500 Magnum. We have a few videos, but the power of the 500 Magnum should not be underestimated. There is a 460, and the 460 actually is not as powerful as the 500. They have for a trajectory and target shooting, maybe it's a little bit better because you can use a lot of smaller bullets. The case on the 460 actually is a little longer, but it's less of a charge and a smaller bullet. Today we're just going to discuss the 500 Magnum. So let's get into it. The 500 Magnum, they make a few models of this particular gun. They make the original model, which is a 8 3/8 inch barrel, which has a built-in compensator. When you look here, it's compensated, but there is no compensation on the sides. That's built in, the one they make. There's a little, I'll have it all the way in here, so this one, it's a little bit better. But it's built in all the way on the sides, and it's not removable. Then they make a 8 3/8, which is like this one here, which is removable, where you could take out the compensators for the different types of bullets. Then they make some of the bone collectors and the real fancy ones, but we're not really talking about those. Then then they make an in-between one, which is 6.5 inch barrel, which just has some fluting here for the barrel. That's it, and it looks a little smaller. This metal's out. It almost looks like the older 44 Magnums. That's an in-between for the people who want the in-between model. Then they make this one, which is the 3-inch, really. They say 4-inch, but this compensator is about 1 inch, and this one here is probably about 1.5 inches. So that adds about 1 inch into the gun. So it's really a 3-inch barrel, but they call it 4-inch barrel. This is probably the most popular one because it's so small and it's easier to handle. It doesn't look like a howdy doody one as much. For target shooting and hunting, this is just as good as the other one. It all boils down to the rounds you use. And let's go ahead and just get you close up on these bullets here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to just get you, put this a little bit here so you can see it, because we're going to be talking about these bullets. I have 4. People might have a different, different kind of defense weapon that they have at home with a different round, but right now for our purposes, we're just going to be talking about these bullets and get a little bit better close in. Okay? You can see starting from left to right, the very first one is a 9mm full metal jacket, about 115 grain, I think it is. Yep, 115 grain. This one here is a full metal jacket, 230 grain, 45 ACP. This one is a 50 AE. It's a type of bullet like in the Desert Eagle. And here's your 500 Smith & Wesson. This is a 300 grain Magnum. I'm going through all these bullets just to show you some of the different ballistics on them. And most of these ballistics are taken off of a website called ballistic101.com, and they have ballistics just about every bullet made. And all those ballistics actually are reported from the manufacturer. So let's go ahead and starting with the 9mm. We'll say I'm going to tell you the maximum power you can get out of these with the hottest load. Okay, the 9mm, which 115 grain bullet, you can get the Buffalo Bore plus P plus loads, which are double loaded, which would give you 500 foot-pounds at the barrel, and it would give you 1,400 feet per second. Okay, that's the Buffalo Bore brand of plus P plus 115 grains. You could go with if you jump up to the 45 now, these, like I say, our figures are maximums. You can go to the 45 ACP, and RBCD makes a 115 grain bullet, which is 700 foot-pounds, which is 1,650 feet per second. Okay, so that's a pretty, there's a difference of 200 foot-pounds and about 200 and 150, 200 feet per second. And let's go up to the 50 AE. This is the bullet that's pretty much dedicated to Desert Eagle. The 50 AE, you can get a 50 AE in the MagSafe, that Defender model. Makes a 180 grain bullet, okay, for a 50 AE, which goes at 2,155 feet per second out of the barrel, guys, okay? I might even buy a few of those. Those seem like nice defensive rounds. 2,155 foot-pounds of energy, and it goes at 2,040 feet per second. That's for the 50 AE. So, now when we move into the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum, now we're going to the biggest bullet the top powerful bullet they make. Barnes XPD, it's an XPB model, 400 grain bullet they make, which is a Magnum by Barnes. It goes at 2,878 foot-pounds of energy. So this bullet right here, 2,878 foot-pounds of energy, and the velocity is 1,800 feet per second. So all these bullets here, we're talking about which is the most powerful. As you can see, our 9mm, and these are maximums. 9mm can get 500 foot-pounds at 1,400 feet per second at the muzzle. You can go to a 45 and get the RBCD. You can get a 115 grain bullet going at 700 foot-pounds at 1,650 at the muzzle. You can go for the Desert Eagle 50 AE, okay, with MagSafe Defenders at 2,155. That's 2,155 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle, and 2,040. That's 2,040 feet per second for the velocity, muzzle velocity. And then the winner, of course, because the 500 Magnum is the most powerful handgun made, and even with the 460s, they don't reach these power, or these. The 460 will go a little faster, but they don't reach this foot-pounds of energy. This particular bullet here, the Mags, see what is it? MagSafe Defender, 180 grain for 2,100. Oh, I'm sorry, no. Sorry. The 500 Magnum is the 400 grain Barnes. That's 2,878 foot-pounds of energy at 1,800 feet per second. Now that's actually a pretty powerful bullet. And if we look at them, I'll show you. Put them up. Actually, we'll put them upside down because I wanted to show you that the 50 AE and the 50 AE and the 500 Magnum, those are the same size bullets. Diameter wise, they're a ½ inch. They're both, 500s or 50s, whatever you want to call them. That's 0.5 inches. You get into the 45, that's 0.45 inches pretty much. Okay, and we'll just stand them up, make it easier. Okay. And the 9mm, about the diameter of like a 38, 0.38 inches. But as you can see, the 500 and the 50 are the same. There's your 45, and there is your 9mm. But I wanted to show you bullet-wise and tell you a little bit about the power of these guys. It really depends on what you want, what you're going to use the gun for. But without a doubt, the 500 Smith & Wesson is definitely the most powerful handgun made, commercially made. This particular one, like I believe they're called the M500. It has double action. You can see they're all double action. And you can see, I'll show you where that drops, where that hammer drops in there. If you're looking, you'll see it. See the firing pin? Okay. This has a full shrouded ejector. Okay. They are stainless steel, polished stainless steel. They do have an internal lock here. As you can see that. I removed it. The internal lock actually, you can't see it now, but if you look at most 500s, you'll see a piece of metal there. See, it's gone. That's that little plate I pulled out. Because I don't like safeties on revolvers. I've heard of them failing. Now, if I shake it, you can hear that noise. That's the safety bar. What is if you drop the gun, it goes behind and block the hammer so it doesn't fire. It's a safety device for you, hammer block. You can remove that. You can hear it. Some people wonder what the shaking is, but that's what it is. But I wanted to show you that. So we're looking at, like I said, if you pull all these guns aside, bullets aside here, okay, and you go here, you're looking for a 500. Is giving you a whopping 2878 foot-pounds. Okay, which is pretty good. That's that's very powerful, and that's a very powerful bullet at 800 feet per second. So your decision, which you think is more powerful, definitely is the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. And thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope it was educational. Kind of broke it up so you could understand, some of the stuff about ammunition, because a lot of times people don't understand it unless they see some of the statistics. But those are the statistics of this particular gun. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching the video. I appreciate it, and I hope this gave you some good information.